That's a stout IPA.
Ooh, you got a hoppy one over there.
Yeah.
He's got a live one over here.
It's live, all right.
Hey, Clyde, he's got a live one over here.
Zenith Hero. I don't know what that means.
It's got about 10 pounds of hops in it.
It's got a lot of hops. It's very hoppy and kicked me right in the mouth. I was not prepared for that in the slightest.
Right in the gullet.
But it's good.
Sorry for the, if anybody's going to join us, sorry for the extremely late.
Hey, this is what you get with Snarf. We're
frame.
we're never like doing things scheduling.
Had a
like
bit of a
scheduled-wise.
crazy day. Running around.
Yesterday as well. Normally we are doing this, the day before we are right now, but we busy. And I didn't do my homework.
You didn't. Either did I. Until last night.
Well, yeah, but you've seen it before.
Well, yeah, of course.
That was the thing. Is like, so, yeah, like, spoiler. It's not a spoiler, but our homework was we were going to watch Running Man and then do a review of the movie The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because I've never seen it before.
Yeah,
you
so
have.
Every week we're going to give out Snarf Talk homework.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said. I think that we need to change things up, though.
Okay, how so?
We'll come out with a homework assignment.
Yes.
And then you have 2 weeks to watch that.
Good idea.
Because the 1 week thing, it was honestly giving me anxiety.
I honestly completely forgot about it until you texted and said, and we haven't watched Running Man. I was like, no.
I forgot about it until Nolan reminded us.
Well, yeah, that's what it was. Is Nolan sent us a message and said, I just watched Running Man. And he's right with what he had messaged us. But we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that. So that's going to be our Snarf Talk homework. And we're going to do tonight, our big topic is going to be top 10 Bill Murray.
The Bill Murray
movies. So we're going to talk about that in the second half.
He's a classic.
Real quick, though, if you would take a minute and like and share the podcast, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, or if you're listening to the audio on your podcast app, please hit a 5-star and leave a written review. That would be
Absolutely.
Great. Check us out on patreon.com/snarfcomics, and you can get bonus content and help support the show that way for a low monthly fee of as low as $1.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had any new Patreon people in a while. So
no, we haven't.
Guys, Patreon.
What are you doing?
We need the money.
Come on.
Jerry's got it.
We need new gear.
Jerry's got a new microphone.
Look at it.
It looks brand new microphone.
Looks exactly like the other one I had, but the internals are different.
He claims it's the greatest microphone in the history of mankind.
I just want it. It's the most popular broadcast microphone in radio, like with people doing radio.
And I probably have the second most. So
you have the most popular for podcasting by far. Like for podcasting, yours is like through the roof. Everybody gets an SM7B. That's what Chris has. Mine is more of a higher end production quality type microphone that they use for broadcast radio, where everybody sits in front of their little talk box,
That's fine. And these are more usually for musicians in recording studios.
Yep. This is for this isn't. They use this one and the other one that I had for bass drums a lot because it has like a bass roll off where it'll make it sound better, but it's more for spoken word than it is music.
I see Vic's with us tonight.
Vic, hey, buy some Bitcoin. We were just talking about Ethereum the other day. I should have put a lot more money into Ethereum last year.
Yeah, it was cheap.
I don't know what I was doing.
I did buy some more Bitcoin. It's dropped a lot after old Elon Musk.
Yeah, Doge went down.
No, Bitcoin went down because he announced that Teslas were no longer going to accept Bitcoin as currency.
I wonder why.
Because of the environmental impact.
Listen, did you see that? So the whole pipeline situation where it got shut down and hacked, the company paid the people that hacked them. They paid them in Bitcoin.
Well, yeah, because if you're a criminal, that's the best way to transact money.
Isn't that wild? Like that's where we're at in this day and age. We're paying people with fake cryptocurrency. I mean, I say it's fake, but I just mean it as like it's just made. Yeah, it's just made up.
Man, we got a lot of activity going on here. We got Jim Romer in here.
Wait, Vic, I have Coinbase, but you can't get. They limit you on what you can buy on there. I mean, there's a lot of things you can buy, but
I didn't see him write anything about Coinbase.
yeah, he said, don't forget, download Coinbase, buy Bitcoin.
Oh, I don't have that one for some reason. Yeah, I do have Coinbase. I bought some Cardano the other day. Cardano.
Oh, I don't know.
I bought some another one that Vic was talking about. Not Polkadot. Another one though. That's on Coinbase.
Stellar Lumens was really good. It's not as high. It's like it was like change to buy like multiple shares.
Yeah.
You know?
The one the Cardano was like 60 cents.
Yeah. But the percentage that they're rising is just incredible. Like they're gaining, like right now, one of them was at 48% or something like gain in that day. Really? Like you're gaining over almost 50% of what it cost for me to buy it yesterday. It's incredible.
XRP. Yeah, I have some XRP. That one hurt me originally. I bought that. It like got destroyed, but now it's quite a bit back. Anyway, that's enough about the cryptocurrencies. We have some announcements to make. We scored our Snarf Madness.
We did.
2021 brackets.
It was a labor of love.
It was a lot of
what
work.
I'll call
That's
it.
Another reason why this is starting so late. I got here at 8.
Yeah, and I got here at 7:30, and I was 4 deep when Chris got here, and that took me 30 minutes. So, and we had a lot more than just 4 to do.
Nolan said, I Bitcoin the other day, but the nickel almost chipped my tooth. I tell you, with the volatility of corn in the last month, I'm starting to call it Bitcorn.
It's through the roof.
Not anymore.
Oh,
it just crashed. Like
did
the
it really?
3 days, 4 days.
Oh.
This week has been like crashing.
What's it down to? $11 or something?
It's down like $5.30 or something. I don't know what it was down to.
Interesting.
For new crop, for decent.
Beans haven't?
They came down some, not as much.
I wonder if it's because of that frost.
I don't want to speak about that.
Okay, we won't talk about that.
No, my beans are fine. I got a whole 160 acres of corn that is flat to the ground, dead brown, shriveled up, looks terrible.
Do you think that's a bad thing?
I think it'll be fine.
I'm
not worried about it.
You know, what can you do?
The growing point is underground, Jerry. That's what they all say.
You told me that last night, and you also said, what can you do? You can't control nature.
You can.
You know?
Mother Nature's a fickle beast.
Bitch is what you meant.
So 2021 Snarf Madness. This was our top video game bracket.
I've got all the scores right here.
Me and Jerry's most excited bracket.
I was the most excited about it. I don't know if others were, but
Chubb said, "Are those Heinz beans?"
I ate Heinz beans for dinner last night.
No kidding.
Well, I mean, I have 3 more cans at home.
Heinz beans.
I kind of enjoy them. I think they're pretty good.
Get out of here with that British bean.
No,
Get your British beans and walk your British ass over the freaking Atlantic.
I think they're pretty good.
And swim the English Channel. And go hang out inside of Big Ben.
I tell you what, I think I like them.
I don't know what
that was my Dick Van Dyke. Or is it Dick Van Dyke that did the chimney sweep in?
Yeah,
that was his British accent.
Cockney, they call it.
Right. Well, it was a Cockney.
Oi, you right, British chap?
I'm gonna sweep your chimney. I am.
I am,
and I'm gonna eat these beans.
Heinz beans.
Heinz beans for dinner.
The best British beans made by Americans because British can't make their own fucking beans.
In a bland tomato spaghetti-o sauce. I don't know. I added a little hot sauce to them, and I thought it was good.
There you go. Americanize them beans.
I did. Yeah, I should have just dumped sugar in them is what I should have done. Or maybe a molasses-based
a nice
syrup.
A nice mustard and molasses. Maybe
mustard.
some grape jelly.
People do that.
Yeah.
And they put, have you had them like with ground beef? You put ground beef in your baked beans.
Yeah.
It's so good. Kenny.
Grass is up. She's watching. I don't know what that means.
Is that a British thing that we don't know?
More British stuff.
Well, he would know.
He would.
Oh, she's watching. As in, like, she's watching us do our impressions.
Oh. All right.
I just told her. I need to bring them in, but Van Camps make pork and beans. I've talked about it before.
You said you were bringing them.
I have them at home. I said I was bringing them to her?
Yes.
No, I told her to buy them.
I think you said you were providing her with some, and we were going to do a taste test.
Yeah,
She's coming on the podcast.
Okay, I have them at home, and we can do that because they're the same. I'm telling you, and they're cheaper, way cheaper than what those Heinz beans are.
Well, it's because of an English pound. Who even knows how much money that's worth?
I think they weigh it.
It's like $10. I don't know. What's 1 pound? Is that 1 pound of currency?
But I thought they went with the euro, or they didn't, right? Like they were fighting against the euro.
I don't think they did the euro
because the UK was fighting against that, like saying we're not going to do what the rest of the European Union.
Well, they
was doing.
Brexited, right?
Yeah, they left the European
I think
Union.
they didn't have the euro before that. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I know they've got
It's a
pounds.
mystery.
They don't have marks. Those are gone.
No, those aren't there. No. In Germany, they just use euros.
But we're not talking about Germany. We're talking
But
about...
that's where the mark is from. Isn't that
that's
German
right.
or is
Yeah.
that French?
I think it's French.
I don't know. Let's stop talking
Money
about
is
currency.
so fun to talk about.
This is Bitcoin. It's so much simpler.
Quid. Ian Hicks. It is. They do have a quid as well.
Yeah, but that's like it's like a bill, a certain size bill.
I thought it was like a piece of change.
I don't know.
They don't have very many bills, and they're made out of plastic. Did you know that?
No.
They've got like a 5 pound. The pound is the big number. So they've got like a 5, 10, 20 pound note, but everything below that is a quid. Like you can have a 1 pound coin, but below that is quids. It's very hard to
Katie's
understand.
on here. 71p to $1.
71
pounds to $1. Holy cow. We
That's
could
a
basically
lot.
live there for free.
I don't think that's true.
We could buy the entire aisle.
No, it's like
Of Britain.
but it's like $300,000 or 300,000 pounds for a pancake.
That's
No,
what I'm
it's
saying.
expensive.
71 to $1.
It's a lot.
If you get Canadian dollars, it's like 1 to 1, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's like 80 cents to $1 for like a Canadian dollar, right? What are you looking
coin, pence. I don't know what's going on.
at? Fish and chips, 20 quid.
It's not a bill. 2 coin.
Yes, but it's is it 2 quid to make a pound in coins?
We got to stop with this. I have no idea.
I gotta know. Oh, and pence. 6 pence, none the richer.
Yeah.
You know?
Point is,
What's that
it's
song?
71 pounds to $1. You could sell your house and buy Buckingham Palace.
I don't think
That's how bad the exchange rate is.
It is pretty incredible that it is 71 pounds to $1. That's, But I'm wondering if,
Oh my gosh. P equals pence. So 71 pence to $1.
Pence is a penny.
Pound is a quid.
Of course it is. Then why is it a pound? Or why is it a quid? Like, why isn't it one of those things?
Because it's no different than saying, what's $1? A buck? It's the same thing. Like, it's a slang term for $1.
Those aren't slang terms. That's real. It's like you got a quid and you've got a pound. They're two different things. A buck is because they used to trade buckskins.
Well, she just said a pound is a quid. So
I
maybe
know,
it's
but
just
it doesn't
another
make any
word.
sense.
Another word for a pound is quid.
Nolan said, I'm pretty sure a pound is worth more than $1, which it would be.
Yeah.
If 71 pence to $1.
Listen, this is England we're talking about. It could be like 123 cent. 123 pence is $1.
Well, how many pence is a pound is the question. And then you'll know if it's more than $1.
I don't know, man.
Man, this is intriguing.
Let's announce the winners of Snarf Madness.
Okay.
And the winners of Snarf Madness get a $50 or is it $25? I can't remember.
I thought it was 50.
$50
We did 50 last year.
gift card to Amazon, which is a how many pound or quid gift card?
Well, if you do 50 times 71, you'll find out the pence. But I don't know the poundage. Are you reading more?
70 pence. Okay.
70 pence to $1.
50.
Yeah, I
So
understand.
you'll get a 3,500 pence gift card.
Wow.
None the richer.
Yeah, and you will be none the richer. But you will get $50 worth of whatever you want on Amazon.
But you will only be able to purchase from Amazon UK, and they do not ship to the United States.
Correct. Sorry.
So you can send things to Katie's parents.
Whenever Katie goes back, yeah. She could bring it to you. Do they also get a sweatshirt or a T-shirt? I thought that was a thing. No?
No.
Well, yeah, because I know who my winner is.
I know who my winner is.
And he doesn't need one. So, okay, but you're definitely getting a $50 gift card to Amazon. So, my bracket stumped a lot of people because nobody scored very high.
Mine, for the most part, were pretty terrible as well.
Yeah. My lowest was 27. I'm not going to tell you who that is.
My lowest.
Because it wasn't Keith.
No. My lowest was 29, and that was Alex.
Okay. Alex.
Ian, buddy, I know you're on here. You're listening. You were second to last on my bracket.
Oh, if we're telling Ian you were last on mine, you had a 27.
Ooh, brutal,
I'm
Ian.
sorry,
Ian,
buddy.
my man.
You did great. You tied for the highest in my first round. The first round score, the highest I had was 21. Ian got it. Erica got it. Raj got it. That's it. Those three people scored a 21 in my first round. That was the highest score. I thought, man, to the moon with these people. To the moon, I tell you. That's what I thought when I looked at the bracket. Then we got into other rounds. And if you got a 21 in the first round, Ian, a total of 27 doesn't score real well. Because we scored the first round as 1 point, second round is 2 points, then 4, then 6, then 8, and the champion got a 10.
Yeah.
If you picked
that was
the champion.
the scoring. 1,
so,
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
So
2021 winner on my bracket, Erica Fry.
You called it from the beginning that Erica was going to win. As soon as you saw the winner.
Why are you saying bom, bom, bom?
I don't know. That means bad, doesn't
it?
You called it a while ago. You were like, you just like glimpsed over her bracket, just like glanced at it, was like, oh, I see who she picked. But you're like, she won it. I guarantee you she won it.
She won it. And not only did she win it, she blew it out of the water. She got a 92. That was the highest scoring of all brackets.
Yes.
My second
of any of my
highest bracket was Kurg
Blaze
with 85, so that's pretty close.
That's good. That's
and then
good.
My third drops all the way down to 59, and that's Nolan.
Yeah.
So there was a disparity from 1 and 2 to 3. Big time.
That is a big time. None of my brackets scored anywhere close to that.
No, you were a bit of an enigma wrapped
this year.
in dog shit.
Yeah, right. Nobody plays the games I do, or even thought that I played the games that I do, or would pick them. And you know what really screwed them all up? To be honest,
what's that?
Spyro.
Well, it was dumb.
Spyro ruined everyone, but I love that game. I do. And a lot of you guys thought I was going to pick Doom, or between both of us. We didn't pick Doom. Did you pick Doom?
Yes, I did. I did pick Doom
in
the first round. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Not in the second.
I didn't pick it in the first round. I picked Uncharted.
Yeah, there was only one person that picked Uncharted.
Yeah. And I believe that is my winner, who scored 58 points. So 58 points was the highest scoring bracket on my list. And
did Erica get a double win?
And that was Alex.
Alex
was the lowest.
He was the lowest score on my bracket, and he won your bracket.
He won my bracket.
And his second win of Snarf Madness.
It is. He won the first year of Snarf Madness 3 years ago. Right? That'd be 3 years ago.
Yeah, Erica's never won.
She has never. She's always been like second. She's been second or third all the time. But yeah, Alex won my bracket. You'll get a $50 gift card. And number 2 was your wife, Heather. She got a 54.
My wife is not Heather.
Alex's wife,
oh.
Heather. She got a 54. So Nolan, you came in at a solid 46. The Guitar Hero carried.
Was that third place?
No, that was fourth place.
Oh, you got third in mine.
So yeah, I had my third place was 52.
So Nolan's actually across the board was not very good for me, except that he picked the winner of mine. So he got only 15 in round 1, 12 in round 2, 8 in round 3, but then he got 1 in 4, 5, and 6 because he picked Star Wars all the way up.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
It does. When you get the higher points, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I had 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 7 people that rounds 4, 5, and the championship were 0.
Oh, I had a bunch too.
I mean, there's so many that were 0. And that's what really killed him. The only reason Alex won is because he picked the champion. He would have been in like 5th place had he not picked the champion because of his previous rounds. But since he picked Halo to win it, he won my bracket.
Yeah, so congrats to all our participants. Next year, you'll have to wait for the 2022. If you have ideas for the 2022 bracket, let us know. Obviously, we're not going to do video games because that was not very popular.
Right, no.
So we'll happy to do something else. I believe Erica is making us a more digital version that's going to make it easier.
Ian is blowing up in the comments. He says Spyro, effing golf, Tiger Woods, cereal. I don't know why he said cereal, but he is blowing up. And he said Guitar Hero, Jeebus Jerry.
I agree.
No,
Jerry's bracket was terrible.
I love Guitar Hero. It was what we like to play.
Your brackets was an embarrassment.
So you want me to play the games
plays
that
video
you like?
games. No, I want
is what
you
you're
to
saying.
pick the best games. I want you to like the best games.
No,
but you don't like the best
That's what you're
games.
saying. You want me to like what everybody else likes. You don't want me to play what I like. You want me to just follow suit with what you do because you follow everybody else
No.
playing
I want
these
you
games.
Okay.
No.
You're supposed to pick the best games. You should follow suit with what I do
No.
because I have better taste in video games than
No. You don't.
You
I don't like your games.
are a bit of an imbecile.
I don't like Fallout. It's not that great. It's fine.
You're wrong.
It's a good game, but it's not my favorite. And we're not picking the greatest games of all time. You can go on a ranker list and find that stuff. We're picking what we like to play. Because I don't care about what you play at all.
Listen, it's for
and
me.
you've said that multiple times. We don't care what you want to play.
No, this is
we only care what we want to play.
Right. But I have a multifaceted approach to my selections. I consider what I like to play the most. I consider what's the most fun. I consider story. I consider contribution to entertainment. I consider cultural impact. Because.
What does that matter to you?
Because I am judging what the best game is. That's what I'm.
But that's not what we were doing. We were judging what our favorite games are to play.
I mean, yes. No, actually.
I don't care what it changed in the world.
Best video game.
Yes, and I judged it as like my best.
The best.
No. We had the big conversation about this. It was the same with the superheroes, and it was the same with
best to us. I'm agreeing with that.
Yeah,
but still the best, not what I played the most. You know what I mean?
What you play the most should be the best.
Just because
you would enjoy it the most.
No, that's not how it works. And you didn't pick that way all the time, and you know you didn't. You didn't only pick games that you played more hours of.
I did.
Well, that's dumb. And you didn't because...
Which ones? Didn't I?
There was later on when you had Tiger Woods lose and some other games
I did
lose,
have
and
Tiger
you said,
Woods lose.
I mean, I played that game way more, but, I can't even
More
compare.
than the other, yeah. But the one that I picked, I still played more than the ones that lost.
Kurt, did you smash a banger?
I don't know what that... Oh.
That's what Kurt said. I'm not sure what that means. Chubs.
No, bangers and mash.
Yeah, it's a sausage. A sausage.
That's a sausage, right?
Yeah.
Like a little one.
Yeah.
It's like our... what are those called? Those little weenies that you get in a crock pot, like during football season.
A cocktail wiener?
Kind of.
It's
always in like...
Little smoky?
Little smoky.
That's what
I'm
a
thinking.
banger is?
I am thinking of it as that way. I don't know if that's the case.
I think it's just like it's a sausage. It's like a regular sausage.
I know. Oh, like a link. Sausage
I think
link?
it's bigger than that.
So it's big. It's like a brat.
Yeah, that size. But breakfast sausage.
Oh, wow. That's big for breakfast. I tell you what, a British breakfast is huge. I don't know why America is so big compared to Like the people are bigger, you know, like because we eat a lot of food. Our portion sizes are bigger. But have you seen their breakfast? It's huge. It's so much food. They've got a ton of beans and tomatoes and meat all over. Tons of meat.
Well, I'm telling you what.
Eggs.
I don't think we are bigger.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah. Britain is the 6th fattest nation. I don't know where the U.S. is. I'm trying to find that out.
Number one.
Number one.
Number one.
I have to register to this website.
Oh, well, you're not going to do that.
No, I'm not going to do it.
So Kurt had said, Ian had said, Kurt, did you smash a banger? And Kurt immediately said, I'm not sure what that means. I think that's funny. The GD
number one
sausage
is Malta. Wait, this isn't right. Iceland can't be the most overweight.
No way.
This is totally wrong.
They're so fit over in Iceland.
I mean, they all wear swan hats and sing melodic tunes.
They do. They do. Vic, I agree. I can't get over the beans for breakfast thing. Like I ate their beans last night for dinner, but I don't know if I could have them for breakfast on like toast. They have beans on toast a lot. Maybe I should try that. I think I'll try it tomorrow.
Yeah, have some beans on toast, man. You got another can of Heinz beans in the pantry, right?
2 more. I got 2 more. I'm going to break them out. I'm going to throw them on toast. I'll let you know how it goes. I think that's a good thing to do. So this week, Christopher, there wasn't much in the way of news, but there was a trailer that dropped that I'm pretty excited for. But it didn't strike me as what it should be. I don't know about you. Did you see it? The Venom 2 trailer? Something about Carnage?
Let There Be
Let
Carnage.
There Be Carnage.
The Venom 2 trailer. Yes, that is what we're talking about. I saw it. Mm-hmm. I loved it.
Oh, I like the trailer. I think it
thought
was really cool.
I thought it looked great.
I don't know. I guess he's still trying to like work into this whole Venom thing, right?
I mean, now he is solidly Venom. I think he's figuring it out.
He is, but it seemed like...
So the movies are more closer to the comics, the Venom comics.
Okay.
Where they're like 2 distinct personalities and they're interplaying with each other.
Okay.
So that is common to the comics. It's just not a portrayal, if you haven't read the comics, that you're probably familiar with.
Yeah, and I haven't really read them.
And I haven't read a ton either. But
I knew that was the case, but I just felt as if he had... it seemed like he had very little control of what was happening in his brain. But now that you say it that way,
So Nolan mentioned it.
Makes
He
sense.
sent us a message. Just watched the sequel trailer. I thought the first movie was okay.
Yes.
The tone was inconsistent, and I thought Eddie Brock came off as whiny. We mentioned that at the time, that he was a very whiny, annoying character in that. I mean, I like him, and he had a weird vocal affectations.
Yeah,
it was
I
just
did.
a weird thing in all of it. So I liked the movie. I don't know if you ever ended up seeing it.
I did. Yeah, I watched it. We talked about it.
I liked the movie.
I did too.
Overall, at the second half or at the end, it devolves into like a stupid CGI ridiculousness.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it was amazing, but it was fine. It is like the highest rated R-rated comic book movie or box office.
It still is. Huh?
It beat Deadpool. I mean, it had like $800 or $900 million at the box office.
Unbelievable.
Huge, popular character.
I didn't know it was that popular though. I mean,
yeah, one of the most popular comic book characters for sure.
Really?
Yeah. But anyway, he had said. Anyway, that's most of what he said to it. I do think that everything looks... I like that they're still doing the humor aspect. I hope they do that better. It just... what's the dude's name? Venom? Tom Hardy.
Oh, Tom Hardy, yeah.
I think in the first one, they had a weird... And that's where he's talking about the tone, because at times it was a comedy, at times it was not. It didn't seem to make a lot of sense. I mean, so I'm all in. I think it looks... funner and more fun, I should say.
More fun, yeah.
And I love Woody Harrelson. I think he'll be great in that role. I like Carnage a lot. I've read a lot of those comics. I have a ton of Carnage comics with, for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I also have Carnage comics and Venom comics. So
My question
I think it'll
is,
be interesting.
do you ever think this is going to bleed over into Spider-Man? It's got to, right?
They addressed that. I saw an article about it. I thought I shared it to our wall. I was going to write it down for news. I don't remember it now. The director talked about that. I believe that, yes. I don't know if it's going to bleed over, but I believe it has been said that, yes, they are aware of Spider-Man, his existence.
Okay.
But it's on the other side of the country.
Yes.
I don't know that they're going to bring Spider-Man in. I don't think they're going to cross these two together.
Man.
But
I really hope
just
they
having
do.
them exist in the same universe and acknowledge that, I think is interesting.
That's good.
Enough.
Yeah, I think that's good. But, I mean, Venom's a huge character with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And they did it in Spider-Man 3, right?
Spider-Man 3, yeah.
Which was fine.
Topher Grace.
Yes. Again, that was fine. I thought it was neat that we saw him, but I think this Tom Hardy character would be neat to see with Tom Holland. Like the newest Spider-Man. I would love to see.
I'll tell you why it's going to be difficult.
I just don't know how you blend those two movies together.
Here's why it can't work, in my opinion.
Okay.
Venom is prefaced on you hearing the inner narrations of his mind.
Yeah.
How do you have that type of a character in a Spider-Man movie where nothing in Spider-Man, at no point are you hearing any inner dialogue?
Well, yeah, but it's two different characters. So when you're following Spider-Man,
so you're going to be in a
Spider-Man
movie with a normal narration and narrative, and then all of a sudden you're going to see Venom, and you're going to be able to hear his thoughts, but you're not going to be able to hear any other character's thoughts.
Well, you don't hear anybody else's thoughts in Venom either, besides
because the
Venom
whole
person.
story is centered around that character. But when it's not, it's odd.
It would be odd had you not seen any of the other two movies. But at this point, there's already going to be two movies out before you ever got involved with Spider-Man. So you should have some knowledge of what's going on.
I think it would work if he can be talking to Venom,
yeah.
But I don't think it works if you hear that voice, the Venom voice.
You don't think so?
No.
I think it could. I mean, if he was Venom, like completely, changed over to Venom and you hear that voice, it would be fine. But I could see where...
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? But then when he's not...
He could just be Venom all the time.
Interacting with Spider-Man, he probably would be.
Yeah.
Unless they have an altercation on the street when he wasn't, but he can switch over pretty quick.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, I doubt it happens, but
I know, but I'd love to see Spider-Man fighting Venom and Carnage and all of those characters. I think it would be really neat.
If they had them, I could see them doing something where there's a brief scene, they bump into each other, the symbiote attaches to Spider-Man, and then you have Spider-Man's storyline.
Oh, yeah.
With the symbiote attached to him or something along those lines.
That would be cool.
But I don't have any problem with them keeping the universes separate at this point.
They're both Sony, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Marvel's doing...
Yeah, it's Sony. Sony has the rights over the whole Spider-Man universe. I believe they're making the Jared Leto one, too. The
Jared Leto one?
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, the vampire.
Morbius.
Yeah, yes, Morbius. That's going to come out soon.
And did you know the new Spider-Man movie, Alfred Molina's in it as Doc Ock, the same guy who played him in Spider-Man 2?
Yes. They've brought back a bunch of people from the original Spider-Man movies with... what's that guy? The main Spider-Man. Who was that?
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. Man, he seems like a real jerk. I don't know. I've heard some reports where he's just been real mean to people when they've asked him about Spider-Man.
He can be mean. What's wrong with that?
I don't know. You shouldn't be mean to people.
Yeah. People, they'll get over it.
I don't think they have. Media people don't get over it at all.
Listen, who cares about the media?
No, I don't at all.
I don't care about them.
I don't in the slightest. I'm just saying most of the time, they don't get over anything. They create the stories about you. And that's what I read and find out that he's a jerk.
Well, I think he's amazing. He was
super
nice to me when I met him.
Did you ever meet him?
Yeah.
Twice?
We had beers together.
Was this at C2E2?
He made me the godfather of his child.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was married.
We go way back.
How many kids do you have?
2.
And you're only
Just the one. Just the one.
What's his name?
The other one, the Godfather, is Leonardo DiCaprio.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I hear he's great. I don't know why he's involved with that jerk Toby.
Yeah.
He's a real jerk. Did you see him in Spider-Man 3 dance around in the street dressed in all black?
I like the dancing. It's my favorite part of the whole trilogy.
Are you being real?
Yeah.
No way. Great. What a joke.
Anyway, we got any more news?
Yeah. So Kevin Smith released...
You feel like dancing, Norbit?
Norbit?
Yeah.
Isn't that Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
That's a terrible movie.
Underrated.
Terrible. Kevin Smith released some pictures. Finally, he revealed pictures for He-Man.
Did he say when it's coming out?
July 23rd is the release date of the first episode of He-Man.
Masters of the Universe, right?
Netflix, yes.
You gotta say that. Because
Yeah,
there's
you do.
two different He-Mans, right?
Masters of the Universe, you're right. And I tell you what, so when this was first released and they first started talking about it, they were saying it was like an anime. They kept calling it an anime type production. But once they released the pictures of the actual art, it is not anime.
It's in the vein of like the Marvel cartoons.
Yes. It looks awesome, I think.
Looks really good.
I was looking through the pictures. I posted it to our social media on Facebook and Instagram if you want to check it out. So you could go
Mark Hamill as Skeletor.
Yes. I mean,
and he never wanted to do animation voiceover again.
Oh, really?
He only came back for this role because Kevin Smith asked him to.
But he also is in Invincible as well.
He is? What is he?
The guy who makes the suits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was Mark Hamill. So you're a liar. Straight up liar.
That's the article I read.
Okay.
So.
But it looks really good. I wasn't as excited about it until I saw the pictures, and I was like, I'm really digging this, and I want to watch it now. I was never a huge He-Man fan to begin with.
No, me neither, really.
And I don't know much about it. It was before my time, or it came out around the time you were a teenager, and but now I want to watch it big time because I know the voice cast and I know what Kevin Smith can do.
And Mark
I'm
Bernardin.
So excited. Yeah, Mark Bernardin wrote an entire episode. I think it's episode 4.
I think he was like one of the heads of the writer's room for the whole series.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in for it. So check out the pictures because I think you'd be in for it too if you like that kind of thing. But if you're listening to our podcast, I would hope you like some of the things we talk about. But that's really all I got. There wasn't much for news this week. There's a lot of there was so many articles about the Venom trailer because they said that, yes, they know about Spider-Man, but they're not going to deal with him. And then this Easter egg was dropped and this Easter egg. That's all I saw, and it was annoying.
Yeah.
So I didn't get much news other than that. Do you have any?
No, I do not.
Really?
No news for me.
So you haven't done anything to promote our wildly successful podcast?
Well, I came up with the concept of Snarf Talk homework, and we can do our work now.
Oh, yeah. I kind of forgot about that. We can do that. Also, we've got a new state that is leading the way in listeners.
Oh, Illinois is off the map? It's been for a while now, huh?
Well, I mean, Illinois is still there. Illinois is obviously the leader in listens. The second leader I have always talked about, though. So it was Maryland for such a long time, Let me pull it up because I lost it. It's not Maryland anymore.
Oh, Maryland. No, it was Delaware, wasn't it?
No, it was Maryland.
Maryland. Yeah, you're right.
Maryland was always hammering it, and they were just killing our listens. Now, let me get into the overview. Where'd you go?
It's Texas, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Texas is always big, too, though. Got a lot of Texans that listen.
There are a lot of Texans, and I give Dude credit for that because he was in Texas.
Don't give Dude credit for anything.
I tell you what, we've got quite a few listens in Canada right now. Oh, South Carolina.
Oh.
South Carolina, hammering it in listens. Maryland's close behind them, but South Carolina, there they come.
Vic said Iowa's losing 1, but gaining 1 in Arizona. Yeah, he's on the road.
Iowa has 0 downloads.
Well, he's listening right now.
Oh. Well, yeah. So the live thing. I get it.
But he's moving to Arizona.
Man, he's a traveler. Bit of a nomad.
Lord, I was born a rambling. Oh, I was thinking that was
traveling man.
But it's not. It's rambling.
Rambling man. He's
Same
rambling around.
Trying to make a live, doing the best I can.
Everybody listened to our championship. Once they saw that it was labeled Snarf Madness Championship, they were like, don't need to listen to any of the others.
Blew up.
We're just gonna listen to the last one because that's the one we need to know.
Which is not for Snarf Madness. You got to listen to all of them.
You really do. I mean, whatever. Thanks for listening.
And it's only like the first 15 minutes of the episode, so
it is.
Anyway, yes, Snarf Talk Homework is a segment we do. We started it like over a year ago, and we abandoned it. Originally, we were going to do it only on Patreon for our Patreon exclusives. Right. We've decided to bring it back and bring it to the wider audience, and our first one that we ever did was Darkman.
Darkman, yeah.
A Sam Raimi movie from the early 90s? No, 80s.
No, 80s.
80s Sam Raimi movie starring Liam Neeson.
It might have been 1990.
Well, it was like early on.
Late 80s, early 90s, whatever.
It was after Batman.
I think so, too.
Yeah,
it had to have been 90, 91.
Because Sam Raimi was coming off of like the Evil Dead franchise.
Yeah.
And they gave him a big studio movie, and this was supposed to be like their Batman for whatever studio that was.
Wow.
It's not.
It's 1990.
It's not Batman.
It is not Batman.
But I love it as a cult classic. Really fun movie. Very Sam Raimi. You can tell if you're a fan of his. It's very much his style. And it's one of those movies that's like, I don't know. It's a cult classic, but it's not good.
No, it's not good.
But it's not bad either.
But it has its charm at times. Yes. You know what I mean? Like,
take the fucking bear.
Yeah, there are times when you're like, that's fun. Like, there's a lot of fun parts, and you enjoy the way the story goes. But boy, it can be a rough sit with some of the stuff that goes on, and the facial prosthetics, and things. It's just it's not Batman. Yeah, no. Like you said, it was rough at times, but it was fine.
The second one we did was The Shadow with Alec Baldwin from the also early mid-90s. But Jerry never watched it.
I didn't watch it.
So
I've never done that homework. I actually got a 0.
Yeah.
On my report card. My dad was pissed.
Anyway, so we decided to bring it back. And this week we decided to do the movie Running Man. The 80s movie, The Running Man. Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Why, you ask? Because I love it. It's one of my favorite movies.
To be honest, I think we should start watching a bunch of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies because they're all around this time frame.
Yeah.
And I saw one today. I can't, for the life of me, remember the name of it, that I'd never heard of. I've never heard of and never seen it. He's standing there holding a gun. It looks like the Commando cover, but it's called something else. But it seems like he's done so many movies at the exact same time that are all basically the same. And I kind of want to see him. It was like Dead something, I think, or I don't know. I don't know either.
So Running Man was 1987.
It was.
I don't know if any of you guys ended up watching it or doing your homework. I know Nolan did. It was, I don't know how successful it was at the time, but is definitely a cult classic. A bit of a tongue-in-cheek kind of movie. So
here's the deal. I'm going to go over the movie to you. I didn't know what it was about. I knew it was like an action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, and I thought it had to do with like military things. Kind of it does, but it's him as a cop right off the bat, and then he's like kind of framed. They say he did a really bad thing, killing a bunch of people. They end up sending him to jail. He breaks out of jail. But then they catch him and they put him on a TV show.
How great is the scene with the jail breakout?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Awesome.
It's so good.
The guy's head explodes.
But yeah, the guy's head explodes. But what I thought was one of the funniest things is when the TV show host was watching the TV.
Richard
Dawson. Yeah.
The actual host of Family Feud
Yep.
at the time.
So he was watching a TV of a news report saying that Ben Richards, escaped, and they show him running, and he's just like almost jogging in place, like barely going anywhere. And he's like, wow, look at the speed on that man. He's like, we need to get him on the show. Look at how fast he is. We need that man. And I just was laughing so hard.
I don't think he was like talking about his speed. I think he was just looking at his physical body and being like,
I think so too. He said
because he mentioned his biceps and some other things.
But he said, look at that man move. Something like that. And he was just watching him run.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is not known for his smooth running ability.
No, he's not a good runner. But I just thought it was really funny. But then from that point on, it just gets better and better. There's a lot of cheese involved with this.
There is, but listen,
movie.
This movie isn't going to be like your review of Darkman. It's impossible to not like this movie.
No, I did. I loved it.
It's cheesy, yes. But anyway, so the point is, Arnold Schwarzenegger framed in prison.
Yeah.
He breaks out, meets this. He goes to his brother's house. He finds this woman living there. Tries to, for some reason, kind of kidnap her. I don't really understand the thought. He has her pass, so why does he need her?
Well, because I think they use your face involved with your pass.
No, he took her pass. He scanned her pass for him
to go to Honolulu.
She didn't have one, and he started causing a big commotion until they finally just go on. So he didn't need her at all. I have no idea why. And the other thing, okay, he's an innocent man, right? Mm-hmm. And he meets this woman, but he's kind of a dick to her.
Oh, he's super mean to her.
Why? He's
off the bat, he's super mean to her.
Like, you're supposed to like this character.
No, you don't off the bat, because he's mean to her. He ties her up.
You really don't ever. He's not a very likable character.
No, he rips the whole weight bench out of the floor.
Yeah.
And then they try to escape to Honolulu because he knows he's wanted, obviously. And she turns him in. And then he gets kind of saved from going back to jail from Richard Dawson, the game show host, because he wants him on The Running Man, which is like the greatest reality television show of the time.
Gladiator. They take prisoners and put them in this like gladiatorial combat arena.
It's like a 400 square block arena that they can just free run around.
But there's a live audience participating.
Yep.
In the slaughterfest
and
picking
betting on people.
Yeah, picking the people they want, the gladiators they want to go against them. Who's going to kill them first? This, that.
Yeah.
And they have some great ones.
It's a good premise,
but I can't believe this movie. That's why I brought it up, because I can't believe it hasn't been remade.
Yeah, we've talked about like gladiators before, and real life gladiators happening again at some point. And mind you, this is all, the movie is placed in 2019.
2017.
No, 2019 is what the description said.
It was 2017. I remember.
Oh, well then the Amazon description's wrong.
In the beginning, they say in the year 2017.
Okay. Either way.
In the most 80s font you've ever seen.
So yeah, they do the gladiator thing, and he's got to try to escape. He ends up finding this group of people that have been hiding underneath
in the underground, like the resistance.
Yeah. And that was Mick Fleetwood, the drummer from Fleetwood Mac.
No kidding?
The guy with the gray hair. That's who that was. I saw him in the credits. I knew who that was. Like when he popped up, I was like, man, I know that guy. And then when I was reading the credits, it said Mick Fleetwood. I was like, Fleetwood Mac in this The Running Man.
I just love how, first of all, the gladiators. They got Sub-Zero.
Yeah, Sub-Zero,
Buzzsaw, Dynamo. Who is
fire
just
guy.
Ridiculous Dynamo. The fire guy is Jim Brown, the running back.
Yeah.
Fireball. And then Jesse Ventura is Captain Freedom.
Yes, Captain
Freedom.
Who's like popping pills for steroids and stuff. And they give him this really weird armor stuff at the end to try to wear. But Dynamo is this opera singer.
Very fat opera singer rapist.
Oh, big time.
Trying to rape this girl like
in
twice.
the middle of right in a hallway.
In his underwear.
In his underwear. He wasn't in his underwear when they fell to the ground. But then when he was getting shocked, he was all of a sudden in his underwear already.
No, he was when they fell to the ground. He was in tighty whities.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
He
must have taken his pants off because he was trying
at some point.
Get rapey.
Yeah, that was really weird. There were things in this movie that shocked me on like how graphic they would be at certain times with
it's a rated R movie.
Yeah, like the blood and like the chainsaw thing. And then Nolan said it in his quote, or in his note to us. And like their one-liners are just really hard and to the point where he's like, he had to split.
Yeah, I also love that Arnold Schwarzenegger is just having a great time. He's smiling a lot.
Yeah.
He's smoking stogies a lot. He's always a cigar.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of things in this movie and not running well.
Nolan did put this, I thought it was great. So I watched The Running Man last weekend, and my thoughts are, if aliens ever visited the Earth and requested knowledge about 1980s action movies, all they would need to watch is The Running Man. Cheesy one-liners, character tropes, explosions everywhere, lots of synthesized drums and guitar riffs, sparkly explosions, cheesy one-liners. But two celebrity wrestlers who became politicians. Who's the second? I mean, I know Jesse Ventura,
and then
Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he wasn't a wrestler. No, maybe he's thinking of Schwarzenegger.
I would assume so because he was the only one that became another governor.
Anyway, so it ends. What's interesting about it is as he starts dispatching these gladiators, the crowd at this reality show start rooting for him.
But they were super upset when he was getting rid of the other people, the other fighters. At first, what do they call them? Stalkers?
Yeah, stalkers.
So they were getting really pissed that he was killing the stalkers. But then the old grandma,
who's gonna have the next kill?
Yeah, and she voted for him. And he said to him, Richard Dawson says to her, "No, that's the Running Man. You know, what stalker are you picking?" She said, "I can pick whoever I want, and I pick Ben Richards to kill the next stalker."
Yeah.
And then the rest of the crowd started doing the same, and the back alley street gangs that were voting or like betting on the streets started doing the same. Rightfully so. They were making some cash.
Yeah. And then they invade the studio itself.
They do. I don't know how they got back there.
Come on. No, you don't even say things like that. Like, oh, come on, this doesn't make sense. Because it's such an entertaining movie to watch.
Well, I mean, to a point, I was like, how did they do this? Or how does this happen?
You thought that deeply about anything at any point?
No, what I thought was, like, this is such an 80s action flick to the point where they didn't give a shit whether or not any of it was based in reality. They're like, listen, we're basing this in the future. Anything can happen in the future, and you're just going to have to believe that.
Yeah.
So us being in the Running Man arena and then getting into the underground of the arena and then getting back into the studio, just understand that that's what happens. Okay? Because they're back and they're in regular clothes. They're back in regular clothes.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger is just hip firing with a machine gun and just blasting everybody.
And what was the whole deal with, so he's murdering people, right?
And having a great time doing it.
Yes. So he cuts a man in half with a chainsaw.
And he's laughing about it.
He blew up the fireball guy. He
choked the Sub-Zero barbed wire.
Yeah, chokes him out with barbed wire and he bleeds out from his neck. But for some reason with Dynamo laying on his side in his car, and he's like, "Help, somebody help me." And then he's standing above him with a pipe, like it looks like he's going to jab him in the head to kill him. And for some reason, he stabs it next to him and says, "I'm not some murderer," or something like that.
I would never kill a helpless human being.
Yes.
Well, those other people weren't helpless. They were attacking him.
I guess. But I mean, come on,
There's a lot of
man.
inconsistency.
Why would you not kill that guy, but then everybody else
Because here's the deal.
you murdered?
They make him not a great guy.
Yeah.
They make him laughing while he's cutting people in half with chainsaws. And then, but they're like, oh, wait, you have to like this character.
Yeah.
So
Yes, that's what they did. They're like, wait. He has some compassion for the fat opera singer.
Yeah.
In the
rapes
battery,
people.
in the battery suit.
In that little go-kart. That he just flipped over by running into a pile of garbage.
Yeah. Yes. He rolled it down the garbage. The battery operated suit blew me away, but the use of technology in this movie, like their advanced, in quotations, advanced technology in this movie blows me away.
I loved the chick, though. I don't remember her name, but is she Mexican or
I think so, yeah.
Spanish? I don't know. She's got an accent.
Yeah.
I love when I like when she runs into Dynamo in the hallway.
Yeah.
And she kicks him in the junk. She's like, says something like, "'Cause you got no dick and you got a battery shoved up your ass."
Yes. Yeah. She said, "You got a battery up your ass." But then that's when he catches her.
Yeah.
And
Gets his tidy whities out.
Right. And then he became a raper.
But anyway, long
the
story
computer
short,
stuff, like all the computer stuff that they do.
Oh, it's a hexagonal
Yeah.
key.
Yes. And when they saw the one guy saw just a satellite, and he's like, "Oh, there." I don't even remember what he says.
He
but
just
he's
saw
like,
a satellite dish.
He saw one satellite dish, and he's like, "It's pointing to the center of the arena, and all of it is." I don't even remember what he says, but it's just so ridiculous.
We gotta get the satellite uplink.
Yeah, that's pointing to the satellite uplink in the center.
Where
of the
do you
arena.
think she stored the data card with the unedited video?
Nobody will know.
They don't say. She doesn't say.
No, she doesn't say.
And how
It's
about the
fun.
fact that they put her in the death arena for having sex with 4 men in a year? Isn't that one of the things they say?
Yeah, they do say that. But they found her in that room stealing the.
Yeah, but the justification for arresting her was that she basically she's a hoe.
Yeah. Yep, that's why she was there. It was weird that she even got put in the arena.
Anyway, I love it. I thought it was great. I honestly, I've seen the movie a lot, but not for a long time. I recommended this movie. I love this movie. I thought watching it back, I was going to be disappointed, and I wasn't.
Really?
Not at all.
Well, that's good.
I thought it was really fun. I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger was great. His acting. Surprisingly good.
I believe so, too. I mean...
better than other things. I thought
this
it was
movie
pretty
came
solid.
out the exact same year that Predator did.
Yeah, I think he does a better job acting-wise in this.
No, I think he does way better in Predator.
Even so, I thought he seemed very natural and not some of the early
What
movies he
year
did.
did Terminator come out? The first Terminator.
Gosh, I don't know.
It was
before that.
It was an 80s movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
Terminator 2 came out in 1992. But the original
1984.
Terminator... Okay.
So quite a ways before. He was already
Does he say, "I'll be back" in the first Terminator, or is it only Terminator 2?
No, he must say it in the first one.
Because the way he said, "I'll be back,"
exactly the same.
in this movie, because he says it, and they it's a close-in shot of his face, and he says he's getting ready to go down the tube, and he's looking at Richard Dawson.
It's from the Terminator.
And he says, "I'll be back."
Police station assault in the Terminator.
Okay.
1984. Yeah.
It made sense. It had to have happened before this movie, because I was like, if this movie actually originated the "I'll be back" saying,
it's gonna blow
my
your
head
minds.
is going to explode like it did in the prison.
Yeah.
Because I would never have guessed that. I always thought it was a Terminator thing. That's why I wanted to make sure it's from Terminator.
Nolan said, "It was so 80s. When the movie was over, I had a sweatband on, a box of stogies next to me. I was wearing flash dance leggings."
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the other thing. The extended dancer scenes.
What were they?
It's 80s, man.
It was the beginning of the show, and
it had an unbearable desire to do the dance from Thriller.
I was doing flash dance I'm a man. I was literally in my living room.
So even if you've missed this Snarf Talk homework, you still have the opportunity to watch this movie. It's great.
You need to go and watch
Arnold
it.
Schwarzenegger, I was very surprised at how good. I mean, I don't want to call it acting because it seems like he's making a ton of money and he's having fun.
Yeah, he was just doing himself.
Yeah. But
they're
Richard
like, hey,
Dawson is legit real solid.
He's chewing up some scenery every time he's if he's in the scene, he's the guy you look at. Yeah, he's the guy you look at.
And his acting was good.
When he was talking on the phone and the lady was trying to do his makeup and just his little get off of me. He didn't say that, but he just like shook his head and she immediately ran away. I was like, that's pretty good. I like that.
Did he act in other things?
I don't know.
Because he was real natural, like a very good actor.
Yeah.
And the woman, she was really good.
I thought she was good.
Was the guy that was also one of the other running men, the black dude, was he famous for something?
You know, I looked him up earlier and I don't remember his
familiar
name, but
for
he
some
does look
reason.
familiar. But he was pretty old.
He was old.
All of the bad guys, the stalkers, man, I don't like them. I didn't like Buzzsaw at all.
Buzzsaw was ridiculous.
That guy, I don't understand.
I mean, I liked the Fireball guy that was so goofy, Jim Brown.
Yeah, he was fine. But
Just how he ran.
Why are they always like straining so hard? He's just always straining, and his face is straining, and he's like got this look on his face like,
if you want to be,
are you having a heart attack?
If you want to be a predator, whatever, stalker, gladiator, I would think the two least things that you would want is a dirt bike and a chainsaw.
Yes.
A dirt bike is a terrible
Dynamo's
vehicle.
car you don't want.
But you can just hit people with a car.
You can if you can get him on the road, but you can literally just stand on a curb and he couldn't get you.
The Dynamo guy was just because he was not like buff.
No, he just had electricity.
That dude should not have been a stalker.
Should not have been there. But the dirt bike I didn't get at all either because for the longest time I
step to the side and kick it over.
I was saying it to myself when I was watching this movie is why do they keep standing in the middle of the road and having to jump out of the way of this dirt bike? Like, you can get out of the way well before.
They're not very maneuverable.
No, especially when you're going balls to the wall down the road.
And holding a chainsaw?
No, you cannot turn that bike very fast. So just stand off to the side and you're fine. And then kick him over and cut his head off with his chainsaws that are just wildly flailing around as he falls over. I don't know. That was a terrible character. That guy I did not like. It was really good that he had to split. Because that's what they ask. They're like, what happened to Buzzsaw? Oh, he had to split. The joke is he literally like cut him in between his legs, you know, from bottom to top.
Yeah.
It was a bad way to go.
not fun. Nolan says he thinks that dude was an alien.
The black sidekick was an alien.
I don't remember that.
We'll look it up. We got fact checkers.
So anyway, that was our homework. We're gonna bring new homework out.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
We got to go back to the source, back to our man, my man.
Okay.
Billy Zane.
The Phantom.
The Phantom.
We were supposed to watch The Phantom. You've been talking about it for
is our next homework. Year. I don't remember anything about it. We personally know Billy Zane.
I am a personal friend of Billy Zane.
Jerry and Billy Zane have beef.
We do have a bit of a beef.
They made up, though, in the end. You high five.
With a rockin' jump high five.
I
feel like...
While yelling, Billy!
Yeah. I feel like that sealed the deal where we were bros for life.
Yeah.
You know, after...
Vic said Jean-Claude Van Damme. We will do...
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, Time Cop.
Any of those.
All of them. They're great.
We're going to watch every 80s action movie ever made.
But next one we're doing is The Phantom with Billy Zane because he is a close personal friend of the show.
Right.
Me and Jerry, both of us are not fans.
To be honest,
we made it clear to him that
I
we
wonder
weren't.
if we could reach out and get him on the show.
Do you think we could get him on the show?
I'm going to reach out to him. I'm going to find his Twitter. I'm going to stalk the crap out of Billy Zane.
And tell him it's our Snarf Talk homework for this week?
Until he gets on the show.
For 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Okay, so you got 2 weeks to... talk, and I'll figure out where the people can watch it.
Okay. Either way, yeah, I'm going to get a hold of Billy Zane somehow, and I'm going to tell him he needs to be on the show. I know we had a little bit of beef, but come on, man. Let's promote yourself, because guess what? You're going to Comic-Cons, and you're not getting very many people in your lines. You're not doing very many movies right now. You need all the help you can get, in the fame category. And if you want to be famous, you come on Snarf Talk.
Hey, I got good news for you, Jerry.
What's up?
It's on Prime Video. Free. Amazon Prime.
Full free. You guys can watch it for free on Amazon Prime.
Or Paramount
Let's
Plus.
do it.
If you have Paramount Plus, you can watch The Phantom. You got 2 weeks, and it will be on our next show after that.
Okay. The Phantom is where it's at.
If you have any suggestions for Snarf Talk homework, let us know. I know Dick Tracy was on our list for a while.
Oh, we gotta watch it. That's one of my favorite movies ever.
So I know Dark City was on the list.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, it's good. Street Fighter was on the list.
Oh, yeah. I'd watch that all over again.
So
Bloodsport was one of my favorite movies growing up because it was a good one. Between Jean-Claude Van Damme and that...
is that the one where
that Japanese guy that breaks his leg?
Is that the one where he's watching like his brother fight or somebody, and somebody
killed?
Comes down and his head is on the mat, and
yes.
it just goes like down like a quarter inch, and then the blood just goes.
Yeah, the guy kills him.
I watched that at Vic's house when I was a kid. We were sitting there eating. I remember everything about it. We were sitting eating peanut butter and Ritz crackers,
and you threw up.
And because all me and Vic did was watch rated R 80s act like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, all night long on VHS at his house, and eat peanut butter and Ritz crackers, and then go play Crash Bandicoot.
That's awesome. That's what Grady and Bryce are doing right now.
We watched these movies on repeat, and that was Bloodsport was one of them. Time Cop was one. Mostly Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
They were so good.
They were good
at the time. And when he would do the splits, he'd put a foot on one chair and a foot on another chair.
Chubb said it. Kickboxer. Maybe that was Kickboxer.
Kickboxer could have been it. No, Bloodsport's where the guy kills his brother. I'm almost positive. His brother dies in Bloodsport, and then he's like, I need to go fight this man.
Do you know that Jean-Claude Van Damme was the inspiration for Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat?
I did not know that.
Yes, you did. We talked about it.
That was made up.
A couple weeks ago.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was also the original Predator, but he didn't like the suit, and he was kind of grumpy about it, so he left the production, and they got a different Predator to be in a different suit, and that's the one we seen. Pretty interesting.
All right, we should get to our top 10.
Yes. We have a top 10 Bill Murray movies. So let me see if I have them in the right order.
Are you a Bill Murray fan?
I am a Bill Murray fan. My biggest problem with this list that I thought of for some reason is that a lot of Bill Murray movies are him as a side character. You argued with me and said, no, he's got a ton of movies. And you're not wrong, but there are a lot of his movies where he was a main character that I haven't seen. Like Lost in Translation, which a lot of people claim is his best movie. It's Sofia Coppola's best movie.
Scarlett Johansson.
She's in it.
We'll talk about it later.
There's Hyde Park on Hudson that a lot of people didn't necessarily like, but he was the main character in that, and I've never seen it. I don't know. I haven't seen a ton of Bill Murray movies once I started getting into the list, so I may not be as in-depth as you.
Okay, that's fine.
On the list, but I've got...
The cool thing about Bill Murray is he has no agent.
Yeah,
he has no representation. There is a phone number. You call the phone number and you leave a voicemail with the project that you're interested in him being in, and he returns the call if he is interested.
Unbelievable. What a power move.
Me and Jerry ate at his restaurant, and we saw his brother.
We saw his brother sitting there.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Caddyshack.
That was the exact same day that I had the beef with Billy Zane.
It was. Yeah.
What a day.
And there was maybe a bit of a issue in the parking lot.
Snafu. It's no big deal. I don't need to talk about it.
Anyway, so let's go get started. My number 10 Bill Murray movie is one that I don't remember that much, to be honest. But like you said, if you're wanting to pick things that he's got a bigger role in,
Yeah.
it was hard. There's a bunch to choose from. I had about 14 on my list, and I picked 10 out of there. So my number 10 is a movie. I don't really remember it very much, but I remember liking it. It's called Broken Flowers. It's from 2005.
Yeah, you brought that up. I don't know that one.
He plays like kind of a playboy, like Don Juan type character.
Yeah.
And he gets a letter, like an anonymous letter that says he has a child.
Wow.
So he's like going on a road trip across the country, tracking down like all his former love interests to see like if one of them has a kid that he might be his kid. Now he's old. Now.
Oh, he's older. Okay.
Well, it's in 2005, so he's like an older man, and he's like reflecting on his life. And this is what Bill Murray does so brilliantly. He's probably one of the funniest human beings in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He makes amazing comedies. He makes ridiculous comedies, but as of late, he does really well that like balance point between comedy and drama. He's a great dramatic actor and a great comedic actor, and all of his movies, especially in the last 20 years, have been kind of quirky and offbeat. And this is one of those types of movies, and I really liked it. That's my number 10.
Okay, that's your number 10. Mine
Sharon Stone's in it too.
Really?
I'm not actually a huge Sharon Stone fan.
I'm not really at all. Mine's going to be one that you are definitely not going to have on your list. Most people, I bet you most people haven't ever seen it. It's a Wes Anderson film. Now, I'm going to be Wes Anderson heavy, I think, on my list.
Absolutely love Wes Anderson.
Because I love those movies. He's always a side character, though. This is the problem.
Not always.
Not always, but he's usually just another. It's very hard in a Wes Anderson film to pick out the main character.
Yeah, because they're big ensemble casts.
Yes. So, but in this one, this is like a claymation movie that you may have seen or may not.
Oh, yeah, I know what it is.
Which one?
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I like that movie. Of course, I've seen that movie.
Love this movie. I loved it so much. When I first started watching it, I thought, this is absolutely ridiculous. But then I watched the movie, and then I've watched it again and again. I've seen it multiple times, and I think it gets better every time. George Clooney is the voice of the Fox, of Mr. Fox. But his like main sidekick is a badger, and that is Bill Murray. And I think the way he plays this badger is like absolute classic Bill Murray. It's watching Bill Murray as like the Caddyshack guy, as how he was in Stripes, how he was like the outspoken, loudmouth kind of guy following around this fox. Like that's how he was as a badger, but the Mr. Fox doesn't really necessarily listen to him all the time. But they're like hand in hand. They're buddies, right? And it's super fun. I enjoy it. It's a stop motion animation movie. It's weird.
I saw it in theaters. I loved it.
You did?
Yeah.
I never saw it in theaters, but
I brought cash.
No, this movie came out in like 2009.
Okay, and then I brought one of my nephews to see that.
Yeah, it's 2009.
I brought one of my nephews, maybe Joey.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's got a 7.9 rating on IMDb. That's pretty high. Like I said, I loved it. I think Bill Murray's amazing as the Badger, and he's like a setup man for everything that the Fox does. And it's
what
super fun.
What does the Fox say?
I'm Bill Murray.
I like that movie as well. Chubb says Space Jam.
He is
in that. He's got a pretty good
part
in it. I wouldn't say main character, but he's a pretty good part.
He's a main agent, right?
Number 9, I have Scrooged.
I
mean,
yeah.
I just think it's classic Bill Murray. The movie is fine.
I'm not a big fan of it.
It's a fine Christmas movie, especially if you're not into Christmas movies. Like, you don't need to feel good.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I need to feel good.
But it's like an anti-Christmas movie, but it still is a Christmas movie. And it does have them. I mean, it's the Scrooge, A Christmas Carol.
McDuck.
Yeah, McDuck. But Bill Murray is very Bill Murray in it. It's great. I love it. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies, and I basically gave it to him for that.
I get it. I mean, it is a very like well-renowned movie.
Well-regarded movie.
Yeah, of Bill Murray's. Everybody always talks about Scrooge, and you see it on all the time at Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
You will see it on on every
because,
channel,
like I said, it's not your standard Christmas movie.
No,
it's got more
the
biting
opposite.
wit to it and humor.
And it's decent, but it was never one that I would go to during Christmas or.
Oh, I do. I watch it every Christmas.
I don't watch it that much.
Yeah,
it's just fine. I want the sappy.
If you're a guy like me who
lovey.
hates Christmas movies, this is one of the ones I can watch.
Man, I love sappy Christmas movies.
I don't. I hate Christmas movies.
I love just like sitting and just dwelling in my deep, dark emotion.
I like Home Alone and Scrooged.
I love Home Alone.
I love Home Alone.
We watch Home Alone all the time.
Well, the first two anyway.
Yeah. Yes. That's
They're
the only
exactly the same movie.
Yeah.
Beat for beat.
100%.
Scene for scene.
The only difference is the pigeon lady.
Yeah. Which
and Donald Trump.
Great moment. I think the second one might be better than the first one.
I agree because I think you have a better connection between the pigeon lady and Kevin than you do the old man that salts the.
But we're talking about
sidewalk.
Bill Murray movies.
Sorry.
Number 9, Jerry.
My number 9, I put, and maybe people will be mad at me because a lot of people like this movie, but I put it as Kingpin.
Kingpin.
So I absolutely love the movie Kingpin. Bill Murray's character, I got to look him up. I don't even remember his name in the movie. What was his name in the movie? But his wild comb over is what I love. And some of his one-liners in that movie are incredible. Let me look him up. Bill Murray is Ernie McCracken. Duh. How do I forget that? I think this is my depiction of Bill Murray. If somebody just said, describe Bill Murray, I'm going to describe Ernie McCracken because I feel like that's how he is as a human being. Is like this outlandish, over-the-top type person that has a weird hairdo. Because if you watch him in real life, he golfs all the time. And he has his own line of clothing for golf. And it's just weird-looking clothes. He wears all of it when he golfs. He is a weird person.
He's a great follow on Facebook. He has a great Facebook.
There's stories about him, stopping at random college parties and just walking in and just, drinking with college kids and then leaving. That's that guy.
Yeah.
Ernie McCracken and Bill Murray are the same person. It just happened to be a bowling movie. And of course, obviously Woody Harrelson's in it and Randy Quaid as the Amish guy. The movie as a whole is phenomenal. I love it. But I like Bill Murray's part, I think, the best out of that movie.
Yeah.
And that's my number 9.
My number 8 is What About Bob?
That's my number 8.
Is it your number 8 too? Yeah. I don't remember that one a lot. It's not one that I go back to a lot, but it's very, very funny. Richard Dreyfuss
is over the top, mad all the time.
He's a therapist. And, Bill Murray is Bob, who's just this obnoxious patient.
That's what I was going to... So what I was going to say is one of the funniest parts is that Richard Dreyfuss finally just blows up, screaming and yelling at him, and physically throws him out of the house and slams the door shut. And he's yelling at his wife, and he's this guy is a complete maniac or whatever he's calling him. He's calling him names and yelling at his wife. And then he turns around and he opens the door back up. He's look, and he opens the door back up, and Bill Murray's standing there, and he's hey, is this some kind of new therapy or what's going on? He's just completely oblivious to the fact that this man just
hates him,
despises everything about him.
All of his family and friends around him, everybody loves him.
Yes.
And he just can't handle it. Yeah. I love it. My biggest memory of this was renting it at the market because up until this movie, kids watched Bill Murray movies.
Yeah.
You had Stripes, which was rated R, but we still watched it.
Yep.
Ghostbusters and all these movies I feel like he was very present in my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so when What About Bob came out in 91, it was oh, let's go get the Bill Murray movie. It's right there. And your parents would be that's fine. It's Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I feel like we watched that. I remember watching it at Gary Gansert's house. and it's like a hard R. Or I remember as a little kid, thinking like this is not appropriate.
Oh, really?
Or maybe
I thought it was
even
PG-13.
It might have been, but I remember some stuff happening in it that I remember that feeling. Or maybe his mom turned it off because for some reason. Anyway, I'll never forget that.
Could be.
But I did love that movie. I've watched it many, many times since. So Frank Oz, Yoda himself, directed that movie.
You know, I thought I knew that.
Yeah.
I think I knew that.
I think we've talked about it before.
Yeah, that's my number 8 as well. Not to jump through the list too quickly, but it happened to be the exact same number. I do remember it being at the Mazan Market as well, but this, I think, is what got me into Bill Murray
and
movies.
Death Becomes Her. I remember renting both of them at the Mazan Market.
I don't know that one.
The cover had a woman with a hole in her stomach, and the guy was holding a candlestick through her body.
I know that cover.
Yeah. She was dead.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, she had a hole through her body, Chris. Yeah, she's not living through that. So what's your number 7?
My number 7 is an amazing movie, which I can't believe you haven't seen, and that's Lost in Translation.
No, I haven't.
I absolutely love this movie. When I was in college, I was watching this all the time. It came out in 2003.
Yeah, I read about it, and after reading about it, it's like, man, I really want to see this movie. Why haven't I seen this?
It's just a really understated art house movie that is actually good. Like most of those like quirky art house movies aren't, and this one actually is. And it doesn't do a lot, but what it does, it just feels really good. And Bill Murray is like basically a washed up movie star.
Yeah, that's what I read.
He's in Tokyo, and he's like doing commercials and stuff over there because, you know, he's still famous over there, but not in the United States anymore. And he becomes friends with Scarlett Johansson's character, and it's just a really, really good movie. It's definitely worth checking out. He's not particularly funny in it.
That's what I was going to say. He's not funny.
Movie.
It's more of a movie about the relationship he builds with
a much younger woman,
Scarlett Johansson,
who's like 19.
Yeah,
and that's like the point of the movie.
That's the dynamic, right?
Because
in Tokyo, where he still feels somewhat relevant, but he's realizing like his time is like over.
And if I remember correctly, it's one of those things where like they have feelings for each other,
but
they can't really figure out if it's romantic or like a mentor mentee. And then there's like younger, I think it's Giovanni Ribisi. There's like other men more her age. It was a good movie. Check it out for sure.
Okay, I will.
But it's don't expect like a lot of story. It's a very tonal movie. So it's not like a narratively strong movie.
Yeah.
It just sets a tone really well. And then you kind of it's just a cool movie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Kind of got a vibe to it. That's interesting.
Okay.
Enough that holds your attention.
I got to watch it. That description grabs my attention, and what I've read about it has grabbed my attention, and it's something I think I definitely need to see, and it might change my list in the future.
It won
I apologize for that.
Best Original Screenplay at the Academy Awards.
She was
nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor. Bill Murray was nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah, and that was the first woman. Sofia Coppola was the first woman nominated as Best Director for a major motion picture at the Oscars.
And her dad is Francis Ford Coppola of The Godfather.
Right. The guy. So my number 7.
And her cousin is Nicolas Cage.
Correct. Which his last name is also Coppola, but he's changed it.
And I saw recently, and I think it's on either Netflix or Amazon, but there was a movie that came out, I think last year, that came and went. It's called Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, and that's with Nick Cage. Yes, I saw that as well. It's got a terrible rating.
I know, but I want to watch it.
Do you really?
Yes.
I watched the trailer for it, and I was like, I watched the trailer and was kind of intrigued, and then I looked it up on IMDb, and it's got such a terrible rating. That's why I passed it over. I should have never looked up the rating. I should have just watched it.
Yeah.
At the time.
All right, you're number 7.
My number 7
Oh boy, we got to start.
is probably like wildly underrated, but again, we're talking about Bill Murray movies, and he is the smallest of side characters in this movie, and that's Caddyshack. He's a very small character.
No, I mean,
In the grand schemes of this movie,
okay.
he's the groundskeeper at the course. You only see him swinging a golf club, hitting like flower heads off, and he keeps saying like, it's in the hole.
His impact in that movie is huge, and that was his breakout.
Yes, his impact is huge. He's blowing up the whole gopher, and he's chasing him around.
No,
I
his
get that.
comedic impact in that movie.
Yeah. No, I understand. Like, he was very funny, and it is hilarious, and that's why he's number 7 on my list, because that role, in and of itself, is like
it's a little bigger than what you remember.
I don't think it's that big.
They go to his little shack. They're smoking.
Yeah,
they're
I
smoking
remember
pot. He fishes the candy bar out of the pool.
Yeah,
takes a bite out of it.
It's a baby Ruth. Yeah, I remember that. But those are small scenes.
Yeah,
the
but
overarching
they're
story
powerfully
is like
comedic.
They are powerfully comedic. I would agree with that.
Anyway,
and I think he did an incredible job. It's quoted all the time.
Maybe the most quotable movie of all time.
And yeah, I don't know what more I need to say about it. I think you're going to talk about it later. So
for sure,
it's very good.
Number 6 for me is Stripes.
Okay,
You're going to talk about it more later.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just quickly say it's another like standard of my childhood.
Yep.
Another one that's not appropriate for children. Really,
it's
There's
not at all.
nudity in
I
it.
watched it a lot.
There's language in it.
Yeah.
Watched it all the time.
Yep, I did too. I did too when I was very young.
We'll skip it if you're going to talk about it later. That's fine. We'll move through the list quicker.
My next movie, you're going to hate me for this. And you already know what it is. Just by me saying you're going to hate me for putting it as number 6.
I don't know.
Groundhog's Day.
Oh, fuck you.
I like Groundhog's Day. It's fine.
It's just Groundhog Day.
Is it?
Groundhog Day.
I put an S even writing it down. Okay, Groundhog Day. It's fine. And it's funny. And I like it. It's number 6. It didn't crack the top 5.
It is not.
But
not in any competent movie watchers list. No.
I'm not competent in anything I do.
Movie is solid genius.
I've never said I was competent in anything I do. I fake my way through life. We talked about this. Anyway, it's great. It is one of the biggest Bill Murray movies that you could ever watch.
It's one of the best movies ever made.
It's not. It's not one of the best movies ever made. It's a very good movie, and I love Bill Murray in it. And, we've quoted it a lot. It's just so repetitive.
It's clever. All right. We'll skip past it then. Number 5 for me is getting into the Wes Anderson world.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a movie that for a long time was one of my favorite movies, maybe if not my favorite movie, for a long time. Not anymore, but for a long time. And that was Rushmore.
That's also my number 5.
Is that your number 5?
Yeah, it is.
Not only do I absolutely love this movie and Bill Murray in this movie, because very funny. But also powerfully impactful in certain ways. And
the way he approaches the comedy and the way he approaches like that character is so different than what you expect.
There's the comedy, but there's also like deep level depression underneath it.
He is so sad.
And it's amazing.
Yes.
And this is where
he's battling this 15-year-old kid over the same woman. What's Mrs. Cass?
I can't remember.
I think it's Mrs. Cass. Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also became a huge fan of Jason Schwartzman, and continue to be. I think he's a unbelievably underrated comedic actor. Mm-hmm. I wish he was in more stuff all the time. He's super popular. He kind of
fell off.
I think he just
the earth.
I think recently he just came out in a new movie. You can get it on streaming, and it's him and the guy from Parks and Rec that plays Ben.
That's another. That's Adam.
Adam Scott.
Scott, yeah.
And I've heard it's excellent. Anyway.
He's in a movie with him?
Yes.
Okay.
But Jason Schwartzman, I absolutely love. He also is one of the Coppolas, I believe. I think he's in that.
He's in that ring?
He's related to somebody famous. Anyway, he's also the drummer for Phantom Planet, the band.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know so much.
I'm a big fan of his, but I'm a huge fan of Rushmore. This is, it might be what kind of got me into Wes Anderson.
It was.
And then I went back and I love Bottle Rocket and Royal Tenenbaums. I think was before this even.
No, Rushmore came before Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh. Well, anyway, I love it. He's it's like a private school, high school kid.
Yep.
Basically, who's way more mature than his age, and he's battling Bill Murray, who's like a rich, lonely old man.
Yep, a rich, lonely old man.
Because they're
That's
both
exactly
in love
what he
with
is.
his teacher. They're in love with the same woman, and it's ridiculous, funny, heartfelt. Wes Anderson movies are real weird and offbeat.
Mm-hmm.
This is less so.
He hasn't really gotten into the weird offbeat stuff yet. I mean, he's starting to get into that with Rushmore, and you can tell it's a Wes Anderson movie. It's just not to the depth of what the movies to come for Wes Anderson are. But in the way of Bill Murray, it's one of my favorite performances.
Me too. So that was yours as well?
Yeah, that was my number 5 as well.
That brings me to my number 4, which is also one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yep.
And it's also a Wes Anderson movie.
Yep.
And it's The Life Aquatic. Is that yours too?
How did we do this? Yeah.
The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Yeah.
This movie, I can never stop going back to, and I can't get enough of it.
There are so many things happening in this movie.
Yes.
They get into a little yellow submarine because he's like the
he's an explorer.
Yeah, but it's a weird play off of what's the aquatic guy? Like the guy that literally went down in the ocean.
Jim Cameron?
No, but well before him.
I don't know. But he's in like a Royal Society of Explorers club, basically. And he's a documentary filmmaker, right?
Yeah.
And he's kind of clinging on to his last vestiges of relevancy and trying to make one more final big
he needs
exploration. And they just put together such an amazing crew. And then everything between him and Owen Wilson, who's his son,
right,
is phenomenal. It's just such an offbeat, a lighthearted, but also, again, weirdly kind of hauntingly depressing movie.
Jacques Cousteau.
Okay.
So it's a play off of Jacques Cousteau. Because Jacques Cousteau used to wear a red beanie.
Okay.
And have like a collared shirt on all the time. But that was like exactly what he was trying to portray with that character, but obviously he just named him something different. Mm-hmm. Anyway, continue.
No, I mean, I think he really nails, and Bill Murray does it better than anyone. He's able to take a Wes Anderson movie and a script which could come off really absurdist.
It is.
But make it hauntingly depressing just below the surface. Mm-hmm. And I think they nail it in this one.
Yeah, they do, because his wife, wasn't his wife cheating on him with a married man?
I don't remember. Was his wife Angelica Houston?
Yes. She was pregnant.
She's financer.
But she was pregnant from a different guy.
I don't remember that part. But
yeah, let me look it up. But either way, the whole reason for that was because he was so obsessed with getting like a little piece of fame again with this one mission. Like, I have to do this one mission. He was overtaking his entire life. He was ignoring his wife completely.
The Jaguar Shark.
And everything else. Yes, the Jaguar Shark.
I have a poster that is the submarine, but like it's a cross section and has like all the rooms labeled. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I absolutely love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Check it out.
A
Life
beautiful
Aquatic.
journalist and a co-pilot who could possibly be Zisu's son. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And the cast of all of these movies that he is in and that Wes Anderson puts together are just
Willem Dafoe.
unbelievable. Yeah,
Willem
Bill Murray,
Dafoe is so good in that movie. Do you remember how good he is?
absolutely. Oh, I was gonna say him right off the bat, but Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, Kate Blanchett, Angelica Houston, Willem Dafoe, Jeff Goldblum. What the heck? How are these not the greatest movies ever made? You know, and then
This was pre-Rushmore, 2004.
yeah, this was Rushmore was made in 1998.
Oh, yeah, duh. Okay,
Rushmore was 98. Royal Tenenbaums was 2001. This is 2004.
gotcha.
But yes, amazing. That was my number 4 as well. Your number 3.
My number 3 is
Also going to be my number 3.
Groundhog Day.
No, not my number 3.
Groundhog Day is my number 3. I got 2 above it, but I don't think you're giving it enough credit. It's a brilliant movie, and it works on several levels.
Okay.
It works as a simple romantic comedy,
Yes.
but also it works in a lot deeper context because there is actually a lot of depth behind the surface when you start getting into like how many lifetimes, and there's whole threads
I know.
devoted to it, like how
I
many
know.
millions of years that he's been reliving the same life, or thousands of years or whatever. But there is a little more under the surface than there would have been in any other popcorn flick romantic comedy. There's a little more depth to it than there needed to be, and I think that's what makes it.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that.
Plus,
Yes.
it's great biting wit humor,
Mm-hmm.
which you don't see a lot of, and only probably Bill Murray can pull off very
I
well.
see it every day because that's how I live my life, with this biting, witty humor.
It's a great overall movie. Ned Ryerson?
Ryerson?
Ned the Head?
He says like 15 things, like really quick.
I love it. His brother's in it. Brian Doyle Murray.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the mayor of.
Oh, he's the mayor, yeah. Oh, I always forget that guy's his brother.
Yeah, that's his brother.
Every time. And I think you told me that for the first time that he was his brother. And
They
I
were
was
both
like,
on
no
Saturday Night Live at the same
way.
time together.
He was?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know his brother was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, he was on. Well, he was a writer anyway. I think he was on air a little bit, not as much as Bill Murray, but I just listened to this story. It was Chevy Chase on Howard Stern telling the story of how they got into a fist fight.
Yes, I heard it as well.
It's great, and you hear
is really
such
great.
terrible things about Chevy Chase, about how everybody hates him.
Absolutely.
He did not come off that way in that interview. He came off as a pretty down-to-earth dude.
Yeah, 100%.
Clearly
He was
not,
just-
if you hear about the stories about him. Everybody hates
yeah,
him.
there's tons of stories about him, but he talked about it as Bill Murray talking crap about him, like right off the bat,
Right.
and then
I like
or
how
he
Howard
said something to
Stern
him.
kept needling him, though.
Oh yeah,
About because basically Chevy Chase emerged as the biggest star
yeah.
of that era from Saturday Night Live.
But he does say what, like Howard Stern says, you were the biggest one that came out of Saturday Night Live. He said, you're right. Like I got a lot of movies and got really big after Saturday Night Live. He's like, but John Belushi was better than me.
No,
he said
Dan Aykroyd. Was
but then
better.
he said John Belushi first, and then he said I'm working like right along him. He's like, but honestly, Dan Aykroyd was the guy that was like burying me.
Well, and he was
so much better
because he was writing all of it too.
right, and that's I think the point. Was,
But anyway, I liked how Howard Stern was like needling him, like they were all better than you. And there was one moment when Chevy Chase's eyes are just like, yeah.
yes, I know.
You could tell he was getting pissed.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Yeah,
Great.
it
video
was
to
great.
watch.
But then, who was it that got in between
John Belushi.
John Belushi, because he's the one who set it all up.
Yes.
And
He did it all as a joke.
Yeah, he told Bill Murray some things as a joke to get him all riled up, and then Bill Murray got pissed and said some shit to Chevy Chase, and Then so he heard about it right before the show started to air, and then he went back to his dressing room and walked into his dressing room and said, like, you ever say that shit again, like,
I'll kick the shit out of you.
Yeah, I'll kick the shit out of you. And then
Chevy Chase, I don't know if you know this or not, but he was from like the East Coast, like Connecticut, extremely wealthy family.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, born very wealthy.
I didn't know that.
Went to Harvard. He was part of the National Lampoon. You know, with the Harvard Lampoon.
I didn't know he was actually a part of it.
Yeah, and that's how he got. They had a funnel from the Lampoon to Saturday Night Live. That was like the funnel, and then it became Second City later on.
Okay.
With Bill Murray, I think he was Second City, and
because he's a Chicago guy.
Jim Belushi,
both of them Chicago guys.
Yeah, all of them, and everybody after that.
Yeah. Because Chicago's so much better.
Became the funnel to Saturday Night Live after that.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was interesting. Now we're at number
3. My number 3.
Yes.
My number 3 is another Wes Anderson movie. My last Wes Anderson movie on the list, and it is Royal Tenenbaums.
Yes.
It is by far my favorite Wes Anderson movie, I guess. I do have another one, and I thought about putting it on my list, Moonrise Kingdom. I really love that movie.
You know what? I've never gotten all the way through it.
I don't know.
Is that the Boy Scout one?
Yeah. I don't know how.
I've tried to watch it twice, and I fell asleep both times, and I've never finished it.
Again, the cast.
And I've heard, I have another friend of mine that loves Wes Anderson, and he says that's his favorite movie.
Moonrise Kingdom rivals Royal Tenenbaums. That's why I just said, like, I said Royal Tenenbaums was my favorite, and then I started thinking about it like immediately, and I was like, oh, wait, I don't know if I can say that.
I also heard very good things about Isle of Dogs.
Isle of Dogs, I know.
But I don't even, I have no interest.
I don't want to watch that. Anyway, Royal Tenenbaums. I absolutely love this movie so much. A close friend, he's been on the show, Nate. I call him Pagoda, and he calls me Royal most of the time. Or like I have him in my phone as Pagoda, and he has me in his phone as Royal, because I've always said, like, you're just my sidekick that is going to knife me at some point. Like, at some point in our life, us living this life together, I'm going to be acting as, like, Royal Tenenbaum, and you're going to just shank me. And then we're still going to be friends, and it'll all be okay. But that's why I've always said that. But Bill Murray's character in Royal Tenenbaums is one of his best. I love it a lot. I'm trying to remember what his name was.
The only reason I didn't have it on my list is because it's literally been so long since I've seen Royal Tenenbaums.
What?
And
why don't you watch it every Saturday?
I go back to
There's
Life Aquatic
so many
and
people.
Rushmore.
Well, Angelica Houston's in it as well.
It's a lot of the similar cast.
Yeah, it really is.
Isn't Owen Wilson's in it too, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Luke Wilson and Gwyneth Paltrow and Gene Hackman and Bill Murray, obviously, and Danny Glover. Ben Stiller's in it.
Yeah.
Riley St. Clair. That's
Erica says Wes Anderson are some of the best date night movies. Boy, I don't know if I could agree with that.
I don't know.
Marley would hate Wes Anderson movies.
I haven't dated in a long time. But yeah, no, Amy does not enjoy Wes Anderson movies. I've tried to get her to watch some, and she just doesn't enjoy that.
You got to be a movie person. She doesn't like Wes Anderson.
She doesn't get the humor. Amy's very realistic, right? Like,
right, and they're absurd. Wes Anderson movies are absurdist.
They are absurd, and I am an absurd fellow.
You are.
I enjoy that.
Yes.
And she's not. She is the exact opposite of that. So it does not land the same for Amy as it does for me. So it doesn't work well for us. But
if your significant other is a cinephile, then yes, they're probably a great, because
yeah, I would agree.
Wes Anderson movies are for people that are really like movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, Alec Baldwin's in it too. I forgot about him.
Nolan also said there's almost as many horrible stories about Chevy Chase as Tobey Maguire.
There is. Tobey Maguire is not.
All right, we got to move on. We're running out of time. My number 2.
We got plenty of time.
We have to do what we're watching. I watched a whole new show.
Oh my gosh, it's probably not good.
We're not gonna have time to talk about it, but I'll mention it anyway.
Okay.
Number 2 for me is Who You Gonna Call?
Oh, that's your number 2. Oh, that makes sense.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, of course it is.
Never gets old. Every time I watch it, it holds up.
I completely agree. We're going to talk about it again.
Both of them, by the way. I mean, if I can lump them together, that'd be great.
That's what I was going to do.
Yeah. I obviously the first one is a superior movie.
Yes.
Bill Murray is amazing in it, but I love the second one too, even though it catches somehow. We're going to talk about it more. That's fine. So
yeah, I like the second one a lot.
Your number 2?
My number 2 is Stripes. This is like Bill Murray's.
There she was, just a walking down the street singing do. Do you know that when I was in middle school, elementary school, I was in Cub Scouts.
And you'd sing that song?
We would march from the school to the church where we had our meetings, Park Street Church. And our troop leader would make us chant that song.
Yeah, it's a cadence. You got to call it a cadence.
Which is not an appropriate children's movie.
No, not at all. But the song is whatever.
But it was from that. They knew that.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
And I watched that movie at their house, and they were very conservative people. It's very surprising that this happened.
That does surprise me.
I'll tell you after who it was, but amazing movie.
So Stripes is Bill Murray's first movie coming out of Saturday Night Live. So he just was done with Saturday Night Live. They give him a big movie. This is where he meets Harold Ramis for the first time and sparks a whole, friendship. But it is so fun. I love military movies. Also. John Candy's in it. That it's like at the peak of Vietnam era type movies, like where they were making this type of stuff. But this one is way different than any of the others. It's not a serious war film. It's obviously a comedy.
There was no war going on.
No, but they did go to Russia and infiltrate Russia with this van.
Like Volkswagen van.
Yeah, but it was a up-armored van that you would never be able to tell that had any armor on it at all. But it also had guns. That part is fine, whatever. I love the beginning when they're doing the training and everything, because he goes to the Army because he's like a really upset cab driver and he wants to change his life. So he decides to join the Army, and he just happens to be put into a platoon with all of these other like schlubby
losers,
30-year-old losers that are doing whatever, but they lose their drill sergeant and they end up finishing training on their own. And I remember when they go to graduation, it's like a captain or like an officer type person says, I understand. He's like standing at a podium. He's like, I understand you finished training on your own. And Bill Murray's in front of him and he like slaps a gun on his hand and he said, that's a fact, Jack. I just have always loved that. I think it's so funny. And he'll say, razzle dazzle. And that's when they start like spinning guns around. It's awesome. I love everything about it.
It's great.
It's really fun. That's why it's my number 2.
I agree. It's a great movie. My number 1 is Caddyshack.
Your number 1 is Caddyshack?
Yeah. I mean, I guess part of it is like ranking the movies too, even though
this is Bill Murray.
Yeah. So it gets that thing like, are you ranking Bill Murray or are you ranking the movies that Bill Murray's in? Caddyshack's one of the greatest movies
I guess
ever
so,
made.
but if we were doing that, I would have ranked this different.
I don't know. That's just, I'm looking at Bill Murray movies. I consider Caddyshack to be a Bill Murray movie.
Yeah.
And as a movie, it's the best one. It's an amazing movie. So, I could see what you're saying, and it totally makes sense. Anyway, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
I got it at number 1. Everybody loves Caddyshack. It's the most quotable movie of all time. Is Bill Murray have as much screen time in it as other movies? No. Should I have done it that way? I don't care.
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. Doesn't change anything. Like,
he's
that's
got
your list.
Great moments in it, but yeah, I guess when you're thinking about it, so does Ted Knight, so does Chevy Chase. You know, they all have great moments in it. But I'm not going to get hung up on it. We all love Caddyshack.
Everybody does.
Literally one of the best comedies of all time.
My favorite is just the gopher dancing at the end.
That's the worst part of the
It's
movie.
the only reason why I watch it.
And then I love how they replaced Bill Murray with Dan Aykroyd.
I know. It's
great. Your number one then is Ghostbusters.
Yes, my number one
So
is
we can talk about it.
Ghostbusters. It is
Life-changing. They haven't done...
unbelievable. I haven't seen a movie like this since this movie came out. Like the way it's impacted me and like the way you've seen it. Like,
no, there hasn't been a movie like this.
Ghostbusters is it's
its own genre
thing.
of movie.
Yes, it is. It's its own thing. I feel like Stranger Things is trying to tap into. The only reason I say that is,
and it's a sci-fi movie at the same time.
I know. The only reason I say that is because they're doing like aliens type stuff. You don't see ghosts and a crew of people trying to get rid of ghosts, bust them, if you will.
And the way it just took hold of the culture.
Sigourney Weaver was amazing.
Yes, and Rick Moranis
was amazing.
Dan Aykroyd, who wrote the movie based on his own life experiences. His dad was a paranormal investigator. He wrote the movie based on his own life experience.
I know. It's unbelievable. Getting Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson. Well, Ernie Hudson's in the second one.
He's in the first one, too.
Is he in the first one?
Harold Ramis,
and...
That's it. Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis.
Yeah. Getting those guys to get... Like, you can't replace those four men like with anybody. They did later, but...
Elseworlds.
Yeah.
There's a new one coming out this summer with Paul Rudd.
I'm excited for it.
And Bill Murray's in it.
So
is Ernie Hudson. And
they show Harold Ramis's...
in a picture. I think Dan Aykroyd's in it, right?
His suit. Like his granddaughter has his suit still.
Yeah.
I think Dan Aykroyd does.
I'm excited because Paul Rudd is...
I love him.
Perfect.
I want to hug him.
Movie. I don't know who else. If we could cast out the rest of the Ghostbusters nowadays... I don't know who do you do.
But the movie as a whole, as Ghostbusters,
Kevin Hart?
is absolutely amazing.
Could Kevin Hart be a Ghostbuster?
No.
Because I'm a big fan of his.
I'm not a huge fan of his comedy.
He's great in Jumanji.
He is. I love Jumanji for him. I don't think Ghostbusters would be good for a Kevin Hart character. But Bill Murray's style of fun, like of comedy, and his one-liners and the things he says during something that would blow your mind. Like you're trying to zap, aliens out of a library, or not aliens, ghosts out of a library. And at the end of it, he just has this this mild-mannered guy one-liner. Like
Dr. Peter Venkman, man. Ladies' man.
It's so
paranormal
awesome.
Investigator.
Yeah.
God, I love that. And they've never made another movie like this.
You'll never see. I don't think we'll ever see another movie like this ever again. Like 1 and 2. I like 2.
Yeah.
Between 1 and 2, 1 is better.
Yeah, for sure.
We talked about it earlier. 1 is better. 2 is still very good. But yeah, you won't ever see him again. And that's kind of why I put it as my number 1, because it's a standalone movie that Bill Murray has done that
timeless too.
It blows the lid off of everything else.
Completely timeless movie.
That's why I feel like it's better than Caddyshack.
Dogs and cats living together.
And then, I mean, how many times have you ever said or heard other guys say you never cross streams?
Yeah. And then, the cartoons are great.
Yeah.
The toys were great. I want the Lego set. They have like a professional Lego set of like the fire station.
You should buy us that.
Yes. We should build it and put it in our studio.
Yes.
Or dude should build it because he's a Lego dude.
He's a Lego guy.
So is Erica, though.
I love Legos as well. I just don't
Erica,
have the patience
I will buy
for it.
you the set if you will build it for us, ship it to us, or drop it off, and we will display it in our studio.
Yeah, 100%.
It's expensive. It's a couple $100, I think.
No, we'll do it.
Totally fine.
No big deal. That was my number 1.
That's it. That's Bill Murray. That's the list. If you got any other top 10s you guys want us to do, give us some suggestions for sure. We've done a bunch. We've done a
lot of top 10s. But I was scrounging for names.
Maybe we'll not do like an actor next time.
I would like to do like a
genre or something.
Well,
like that.
you know how we did like a top 10 breakfast cereal or a top 10 diner. I think we did,
We
or
didn't do
fast food.
Fast food, yeah.
Something like that. I would like to do something like that again because it sparks a lot of conversation.
I agree.
And it sparks a lot of anger.
Yes.
And I want people to be angry at me.
Frothing at the mouth.
Yeah, for picking just ridiculous stuff.
All right, we got
love.
5 minutes to do some what we're watching. I have 2 things I've been watching.
I only have 2 as well. I mean, I watch Survivor a lot, but you don't care about that.
Let's not talk about that.
No, we're not going to.
All right, what else you got?
I started watching again, catching up on it, the Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
I haven't started it.
So I was real excited for it at the beginning, and I like the story. It's fallen flat for me. It's not doing what I thought it was going to do.
It's just a kid show.
It is, but it was rising to a point, and I thought, all right, they're doing something good. Like
so
they got
try
this
to
weird
do something
team.
like Cobra Kai, but they failed at every moment.
No, not every moment. Not every moment is failed, and they are absolutely trying to do the Cobra Kai. And at first, it was successful, but they haven't used Gordon Bombay the right way. I don't think. Like they got him involved, but then all of a sudden he's almost like a back side character that just kind of barks out advice every once in a while and has an interest in this lady. But he's not like actively involved in the team yet, and that's what's really aggravating me. I want him to come back and be the coach of this team to beat the Ducks, and he's not doing it, and I don't know why they haven't done it. It seems like a huge flaw. Like, why are you having this random single mother coach the team, but then talk to Gordon Bombay, who owns the entire ring that you're in, like, or rink, I should say, that you're using, but he acts like he wants nothing to do with hockey. You own a hockey rink. You drive the Zamboni around. You were the coach of the Ducks. Why are you surprised that the Ducks forgot about you when you are forgetting about yourself? You're forgetting about everything you've ever done, and you're like throwing it off to the side. Get down there and coach hockey again that you want to do and everybody else wants you to do. And don't be mad about the Ducks being a big-time like youth hockey league team and not inviting you to this, like, whatever it was. It was like it was almost like prom for hockey, I guess. I don't know. But it was like a big celebration, and they didn't invite him. Well, no crap. Like, no, they didn't invite you because you became a hermit and you sat in this little office and ignored everything else. And now that hockey's going on in the middle of your life, now you're like, why didn't I get invited to the Ducks? I don't want to coach this hockey team, but why did I get invited to the Ducks? That was just super frustrating to me, as you could tell. Like, they screwed.
You have a lot of feelings about this show.
Well, they screwed it up, man. Like, everybody loved Gordon Bombay coaching the Ducks, like, in making this team become good from nothing. Like, a bunch of ragtag kids from nowhere become good hockey players. It's the exact same story. They're using a single mother to coach them, but she has literally zero experience.
You can't have the likable main character be a man anymore. You know that, right?
He's still the main character, though, just behind all of it.
Right.
And you need to bring the guy that built the Ducks up to the forefront to build the Ducks again. If you do the exact same story over again, I would enjoy it better than what you're trying to do right here, which is keep him hidden in the background. It's dumb.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm following this drama. Vic had pizza delivered, and the delivery driver backed over the utility box in front of his house. Well, you still have internet, so that's good.
Minnesota Miracle Man. Yes, he was the Minnesota Miracle Man, Erica, and they're just not utilizing him as that. And it's frustrating, and that's why I kind of gave up on it. But I'm going to finish the season for sure. I think there was 1 or 2 episodes that I had left to watch, and I'll watch them. It is a kid show. I do believe your kids, and I need to get my kids to watch it. I think they would enjoy it.
All right. Well, thanks for taking up all our remaining time talking about a dumb show that nobody cares about.
I do care about it. I watched it.
Could have been talking about the big show that I've been watching, which is the #1 show on Netflix, Jupiter's Legacy. I finished season 1.
I started the first episode and fell asleep and never watched it again. I need to get back
for
to
real?
Yeah. It just was a random night. Like,
well, then you know what? I'll save it because you're going to get back into it and you will binge it all and you will have it watched by next week.
So you enjoyed it then? Thoroughly, apparently. If you're binging this show...
Listen, I need you to watch it before I talk about it too much.
I don't like the way the characters look. I'll tell you that straight up.
Completely irrelevant to what at this... Okay, let me break it down a little bit. Did I like it? Yes, I enjoyed this show. Is it amazing? No.
Okay.
It's a solid show. It's not The Boys.
No, I didn't expect it to be.
But that's kind of what it's trying to go for.
I know, but I did not expect it to be.
It's got a little bit more of like a YA vibe to it, to a certain extent, but not really. The cool thing... Okay. The thing this show does that I thought I would hate is it's in constant flashback. So it's constantly going from the past to the future to the past to the future.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this. I hate that.
I don't like that either.
Loved
At all.
it in this show. In fact, I was always looking forward to the flashbacks because that's the story I wanted to know. I didn't care about what was going on.
And that's about the parents, like the older people.
Well, it's all about them.
Well, I know, but
no,
like there's
it's
a new group.
all about them.
Oh, okay.
It's all about the parents on both accounts. The nowadays is the parents and the children coping with life now. But the flashbacks are about their life before they had powers and how they got powers. And the flashbacks are solid gold. Really good.
Okay.
Enjoy them a lot. The future stuff, the stuff that, or the current age stuff is the stuff I liked less, but it totally makes sense in service to the story. And both the current and the past stuff does a really good job working together to tell a cohesive arc narrative.
Well, that's good right there because it is very hard to do the flashback stuff, like what happened in the past and what's happening now or in the future, whatever, and get them to like meld.
Yeah,
correctly.
And it does, and it melds correctly. Now, that being said, is it the best thing in the world? No.
It's getting really good reviews.
It's getting
people
great.
are enjoying it a lot.
It's a solid show. All right.
Yeah.
Really good. I don't know where they're gonna go from here. It feels like they told the story to a certain extent. There are some things I didn't care for, and yeah, the characters' outfits are a little goofy, but you get over it real quick.
It's not necessarily the outfits, but it was the same issue that I had with The Witcher before I ever watched it. Is that his gray hair and the way he looked, I thought looked goofy.
I don't like how
I don't like
that
the
must
way the
be
main
from
character,
the comic.
It is.
Okay.
If you look at the comic book, he looks identical to that.
Yeah, okay.
But putting him in real life it's just weird.
That actor I absolutely loved.
Yeah, what's his name?
I don't know, but he's great.
It just
in the flashbacks. I don't really care for him in the present day as much. But it's a lot. The present day stuff's mostly about him, his wife, and the two children and their interplay there. But all these young heroes that are kind of the next generation coming up.
Isn't it their kids?
They're kids, but there's many others.
Oh, okay.
And they're struggling with the supervillains that now are. The game has changed. The world is different, and
of course it is.
They're more dangerous, and they're killing now. And before, in the past, it was kind of a push and pull. You know, like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna stop you, we're gonna put you in jail. Nobody was really.
But now they're really out there killing people, and they have to try to stop it.
It's getting dangerous, and there's an adherence to the code.
Is it on Earth?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember.
So you will like it. Anybody that likes this podcast will enjoy it immensely, but don't expect it to be The Boys. Don't expect it to be...
No, Netflix is not going to do the same as what Amazon can
Ted
do.
Lasso,
I don't think.
or any of these shows that we're saying like are out of this world. It's not Watchmen. It's not like that. It's not like any of those things. It's a little lighter entertainment. Okay. Not light, like it's still heavy in its subject matter, but it's not as well done, as cinematic as those things. If that makes sense.
It does.
So I enjoyed it. We'll talk about it more when you watch it because I do think you'll enjoy it, and I do think you'll binge it rather quick because the story is very fast paced. I don't recall a single episode that I thought dragged, and that's my biggest complaint on shows. No, they press the storyline forward solid. Like every beat, every episode is pushing, especially the flashback narrative, forward incrementally. Okay. I felt long. Longer than I expected. I don't know how many episodes it was, but
I don't know if I like that feeling though, of it feeling long.
No,
because that means
that's not what I meant. I meant like a lot of these shows these days that are like 6-8 episodes.
You felt like you didn't get much out of it.
You get gypped. You feel like gypped at the end. I felt like I kept thinking like this has to be the last episode, but there's so much more, and it wasn't. And then it ended naturally, and it felt right, like the length, the narrative storytelling.
I mean,
arc
that alone makes me want to watch it because there are so many shows that I have loved that end up ending either abruptly or to where it's like, there's got to be something else here that you're not telling us,
No,
and
right.
aggravating.
Like the whole story was told, and maybe it was only 8 episodes. It felt longer than that. But I will say there was not a single episode that I watched that I felt like, man, that was a waste of an episode. Or that was slow. Or
that's good.
They didn't move the narrative forward on that. Didn't feel that way one time.
Okay. I'll watch one tonight.
And the only other thing I watched is a documentary called, they have this series on Netflix called Explained. And there's various subjects.
Okay.
And the newest one to come out is Money Explained. And
interesting.
It's a.
So why didn't you know about the pence, the quid, the pound? Like,
well, it's
what
not
the
that.
heck?
It is a legit opportunity for Netflix or whoever produces these things to push a real solid, specific liberal agenda in the guise of documentary filmmaking.
Okay.
And it's almost. It's not all terrible. I mean, like the first episode's about like pyramid schemes and stuff like that. That doesn't have any liberal agenda, right?
No, but I'd like to know about that. I like
it's
talking
fine.
about
That one
those
was
things.
actually pretty boring. The second one I watched was about credit cards, but it's got like this little air of anti-capitalism behind it. Everything they talk about.
Sure.
The next one was about student loans. That one was ridiculous. It's basically spending a half an hour of an episode setting up the final thing of like, this is why college should be free. This is why college should be free. It's just very, very one-sided.
Okay.
So that one was annoying. That was the only one that was really that annoying. The credit card one was fine. The retirement one I liked. It also had a very strong left side bias, but isn't wrong.
Yeah.
That we have a problem in this country where a lot of people, don't have anywheres near what they're going to need to retire.
Right.
The whole idea of retirement,
which is a big problem.
but it wasn't an idea until this certain time in like the 50s.
Yeah.
There wasn't a thing. Retirement wasn't even a word before then. You just worked until you either moved in with your children or died.
Yeah.
And then it got sold, basically. Anyway, I'm not recommending it. You don't need to watch it. It's fine. If you're interested in these topics, that's fine. Just
I probably
know
wasn't gonna watch it.
That it's got a certain perspective and it's not telling all opinions. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I'm smart enough to make my own decision, and I think most people are too.
Right.
But
absolutely.
It's fine. That was literally a couple nights this week. We were having dinner or something, and we just wanted to sit down. We just needed something to be on.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to watch something.
Yeah, I get it.
And so that's what we were watching.
You want to like just turn it off.
Yeah.
And just have something playing.
Yeah. And I couldn't watch Jupiter's Legacy because Marley wanted to watch something too, and she wasn't watching the show. So anyway, that's all I've been watching. I'm done.
Yeah, that's it. We'll talk about the Bad Batch next week.
Bad Batch next week. You're going to watch Jupiter's Legacy, and then your Snarf Talk homework is The Phantom, Billy Zane.
Billy Zane in The Phantom, and it's free on Amazon Prime, so check it out.
Like and share the podcast. Check out Snarf Talk, patreon.com/snarfcomics. And
comment on our social media.
Media. Like us at Snarf Comics everywhere.
Yeah.
That you want to be. Snarftalk.com.
It's everywhere you want to be. What was that?
.com is our very frequently updated website.
It's still good.
It's still good. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
Vic says, I'll be guest starring in a few weeks when I'm back in Illinois. You were invited on the
come.
podcast once. You were supposed to come, and you didn't show up.
And you didn't come. So come this time, and we will have you as a guest.
Not if you're just going to talk about crypto. We're done. We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, come on. Talk about what we like.
For Snarf Talk this week, I've been Chris.
I am Jerry.